Welcome to Dear Alice, a lifestyle approach to interior design.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dear Alice. Today we have a fun treat for you. We've got Angie Harrington on so we can break down House of Harrington, her amazing project. I know so many people have been waiting for this house to be able to be seen. Her lifestyle is so beautiful. Angie is currently a housewife of Salt Lake City. Is that right, Ange?
Well, ish. I'm a part-time cast member.
Part-time cast member of, she's like the cutest one. Everybody's dying to have her be a full-time cast member of Housewives. And she's got an incredible, really unique fashion sense. And it's so fun to see what Angie's wearing every day. Angie, would you say you're an influencer?
Yeah, definitely. I was a single mom and I worked as an actress and a model, but I was always on somebody else's watch, and I when my kids went to school full time, I thought, well, I would rather dive into something that I have control over, because you have no control when you're being cast for acting gigs. You have no control, and so I wanted something I had more control over. So I decided to start influencing, because I've always had a knack for fashion. That was there's a lot of things I'm not good at, but that was one of the things I was always good at, was being creative. And so when my boys went to school full time, that's how I helped pay the bills as a single mom. So ever since then, I've been influencing, and I want to say it's probably been 8-9 years. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm definitely an influencer for sure.
So fun.
You're an OG influencer too, because
OG,
that was before influencing was a thing. I feel like you were doing your thing.
I was a few years late to the game. The timing was so important back in the day, because it was like, the girls that are huge now are the ones that got in it right at the first, know. I feel like I was kind of the next grouping, but still got in it pretty early, where I've been able to make good money from it. So I've been fortunate.
That's so great. I love it. Are you on TikTok as well as Instagram?
Oh my gosh, I just started. I still feel like I'm learning Instagram, and I was like, I'm not doing TikTok. I'm not learning another social media platform. And then I just caved because the growth is too good. So what about you guys? Are you on TikTok?
Yeah, we are. It's fun. It's really fun because your growth just is like exponential. It grows so much faster than Instagram. It's like gasoline and a match, So yeah, I think it'll go really, really good for you. And I think we've only been on it for
the last few months.
3 months.
Yeah, 3 months, but
that makes me feel good. Thanks. I feel so late.
I know. I was the same as you. In fact, I still don't have TikTok on my phone. So the team obviously puts it together, and we star in the TikToks, and our work does. But yeah, I'm just like, oh man, I hear so many people say I could have 2 hours back if I wasn't on TikTok and Instagram, right? So yeah, I'm just 100%. Like, I don't have the time in the day to care about another platform, but I know it's like the hippest, hottest, newest thing. But I still feel like for Angie, if you don't mind answering this, how old are you?
40.
Okay. So I feel like people in our generation, don't you feel like they still really like Instagram the most?
It's by far my preferred method. It's truly the only social media platform I check personally. I'm only on Twitter if it has to do with the show. Mm-hmm. I'm never on Pinterest anymore unless I need something very specific. So TikTok just felt like a completely foreign world to me.
Yeah.
But, nowadays with Instagram, it's almost impossible to grow. I don't know if you guys have noticed that.
Yeah, totally.
But it's like your growth goes backwards, like you lose followers, So it's tough. It feels like you're climbing a mountain in high heel sandals.
There's the quote of the day.
There you go. In my head, I pictured these like great Christian Louboutin platforms on Kilimanjaro. So
yeah, it does feel like that. I mean, we just did a really awesome giveaway, and I think we gained overall like 400 on one platform and 600 on the other. And the social team is just like losing their minds. They're so happy. And I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah. Like you think that you're going to get thousands, but especially once you get into, you have, how many followers do you have, Ange?
I have 130,000, but it's interesting because 2 years ago I had 150,000. So Crazy. It's like, it's all, but
totally.
the integrity of your followers is much more important than the number. So
yeah, definitely. We've seen huge growth with micro influencers and just smaller ones now. So, and they're easier to work with and all of that.
For
so
sure.
we could have a whole conversation about this.
Let's talk about your house.
Yeah, let's talk about you.
Hi, yes.
I'm so excited. We were just sort of reminiscing back when Angie and Alice Lane got together before you got on, and Suze was remembering
our love story. Let's see. I was just thinking about all the different spaces that we worked on with you, you know, like, I feel like they've all been a cumulative collection of things that kind of like came into this house, right? Because first one was like, you had City Creek. I feel like when you and Chris.
Oh yeah, you guys did City Creek.
And there was so many, I'm like, that's where we had like that snake art, that Radlar Carrara lamp. We had like, there's so many good pieces that I can tell you where they're at in your current house, that we had at this like really beautiful City Creek apartment that she and Chris lived in. And then there was like a little house in Provo over by the, kind of like on the west side of Provo for a hot second. Then there was Stonegate. And then there was this house. So this is like our fourth project together. Obviously, this is the most full-bodied one. But, But it was just fun, even like as we went into this house, like to see your collections of like what you guys gathered, you know, throughout the year and what kind of stuck, you know, as we went into the design, you know?
Oh, for sure. No. And it's funny because we had to bounce around quite a bit because at the time we were trying to find a home and we couldn't find a home we loved. So it was like, we'd rent one and then they'd sell it and then we'd have to move. And I'd call you guys and be like, help me make this house a home, and it's a rental and it's temporary. So I don't want to invest quite yet the way I would in a permanent home. So that's why it was really fun when we got our permanent home, which we basically like had no game in that purchase at all. We were living in the Provo Marriott at the time, probably spending $13,000 a month on 2 rooms at the Provo Marriott, which is pretty depressing if you think about it. So the minute that house went on the market, we were like, we'll take it, you know, because we used to drive by our house and think, I wish that one would go on sale. There's just something really special about that house.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating because everyone where I live has a story. Like, oh my gosh, I lost my virginity in your house.
Amazing.
Or we need to sage this room because some crazy shit went down. Can I swear on your podcast? Sorry. I won't swear anymore. My bad. Just sleep that.
I think it's fun.
So funny.
Okay, I won't drop an F-bomb either. Don't worry.
I remember.
If the timing's right, and you do what you got to do.
I remember when you and Chris had narrowed it down to 2 houses and you were like, hey, will you come look at these 2 homes? Do you remember this? And so we went to Vintage on the River, I think, to go see somebody whose name starts with an M. We went to go see her name.
Yes.
And it was beautiful and it was shiny and polished and a lot of cherry wood. And grand ceilings and like a prom staircase and a pool in the back and everything else. And then we saw the Tudor house that you're in. And we were like, I was like, it's no contest to me. Like that one's great because it comes with a pool and, you know, the mature landscaping and everything. They both had that. But yours was on a golf course. And I don't know. It just felt like a fashion house. It was just like old and cool and had stories and a soul. And I just felt like your fashion sense in that house would be so much more unexpected. And the wow of it was, I don't know, incredible. It stretches out forever. If you don't mind telling the listeners, how big is the house?
It's like almost 11,000 square feet.
Yeah.
But it's very long.
Yeah.
It's not super deep, but it doesn't feel narrow. It feels great the way it's laid out, but it's very long. And it was the first house, I believe, built in that neighborhood. So it got a very prime lot. It's hard where we live in the city we live in to find. It's over an acre, and that's really hard to find. Mm-hmm. So we were really lucky to get this sprawling property with this great home in a prime spot right on the golf course. We were thrilled, and we still love it. We just like, something about me, which people might find, would not expect, is I like older things that have a story and feel like they have a soul and a heartbeat. And I don't really love the idea of going and building a brand new home. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm sure I'll do it eventually, but, I loved that this space had integrity, and it felt, I like things that feel a little road hard, put away wet.
Yeah.
Even people. I like my people to have a story and to have been through challenges, and it just kind of makes it a whole and a more well-rounded experience. So that's kind of how I felt about the house. It was so beautiful, and it just feels like, I don't know. I don't really know how to put it into words, but it just felt like it's got depth to it.
It's a lot of depth.
And I love
those
that.
thick walls, and they're all plastered. And it's just so incredible. When was the home built originally?
I think the year I was born, 1981, or maybe a little bit before that.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people know the previous owners, including my parents, and they said that they built it to be reminiscent of a Charles Dickens novel, like a Christmas time Charles. So like very European Christmas time, which like I love the holidays. I love to decorate, and it really brings out all that in our home. So
that's so fun.
It's fun.
I think
it's a pretty magical house.
I know. Even just like shell of the house, we'll talk about all the layers that we worked on together for it. But when you say 10,000 square feet, like that's a large house, but your house doesn't feel like that because the spaces are so intimate and the journey is so interesting. And there's like different levels, and
the ceilings aren't too high.
So well.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it doesn't feel intimidating. It feels inviting.
Totally.
I agree.
Even the entryway, when you come in, it's not like this big soaring 2-story entry and you feel like a little tic tac, just like rattling around in this huge space, It's just this, you really like are at human scale when you come in and you notice everything because it's not too grand, and the texture of the walls, and you kind of have two entryway moments, which is always like that. They're both amazing with that second entry, with your the Thomas O'Brien brass-legged island table, and then your really cool wiry chair, and the original art is just such a scene that nobody really gets. I love it. And your leaded glass windows are bananas.
Oh, that's what sold me on the house. Yeah, those are just, you guys should see it at night when I look out my dining room and the Christmas lights are sparkling through those glass. It looks like a bunch of diamonds. It's just, for those listening, we have like these, what are they called, guys? Like diamond shaped little.
It's a leaded glass. Yeah. So you have
they're leaded glass, and they're so well made and so beautiful. And that really sold me. And a lot of my friends tell their kids, all my friends' kids think I live in a princess castle, because it looks very Beauty and the Beast, and so we play the witches upstairs, and I tell them stories, and they get very enchanted by it all. It's cute. Yeah.
Oh, that's
we went to, there was a Christmas party a few years back that we were at your house, I think like right after we finished a lot of it. And it's a magical house to throw a party. Like that's it's fun house to navigate in a party. And anyway, the backdrop is so good. So
thank you.
Angie's really fun, guys. Just if you haven't caught that.
The most fun and funny. Super funny.
Thank you.
Super witty, which means she's really smart.
Which means I like, thank you. You're right. I'm smart in a very creative way. I don't think everyone gets my humor, but those that do, we laugh hard.
Yeah.
We laugh hard.
That's
Sagittarius,
Rode hard and put away wet.
Sagittarius. So your birthday is like this month.
My birthday is next week. Yes, and I'm a textbook Sagittarius, which you guys probably found that challenging to pin me down at times because I'm so fleeting's not there. I'm a wanderlust. And so there were probably times where you're like, Angie, respond. Have you checked your emails? I mean, I have like 15,000 emails I've never opened.
Yeah, same.
Anyway.
Yeah.
We're such good friends.
Email's not my game. I'm good at other things, but I'm like, that's like a full-time job I don't want to do. So
because we're creative types.
Yes, it is. It is. Let's talk about your creative process. Speaking of creative types, when we worked on the house, you obviously love design. We love design. I feel like it was super fun working together with you on this because you kind of had this idea about what you wanted for the home, and it was just so fun to make it kind of gel and come together. And we definitely think interior design is a very collaborative process with the homeowner and what they want, what you want. You have, 3 little boys. At the time you had 2, and now they're not so little. Yeah. But you have a little heart. So you added a baby to the mix, and we did a nursery a little bit later on, but let's just sort of talk about, how was the creative process for you of the home build or the home design rather?
I thought You guys did a great job at capturing what all the different things that were firing off in my brain, because I have all these thoughts and ideas. And I remember Jess said to me, look, you like to travel, you like to stay. I mean, I'm pretty down to earth until it comes to travel. That's like where my diva comes out, and I want luxury. And so you asked me specifically, are there any hotels overseas that have really inspired you? And honestly, the thing that inspired me the most was our travels to an area called Montecito in California. It's just right outside of Santa Barbara. And I am so taken by the homes there. I mean, they are just spectacular. It's where Oprah lives. I mean, of course, nobody can see Oprah's house from the street, but they're the most charming properties. And I felt like my home was very reminiscent of that. And so we were lucky enough to spend some time, a handful of summers in Montecito and rent different homes. And I pulled out all my photos of those vacations. And I kind of looked through and thought this style would match my home perfectly, which is kind of like a Spanish, would it be Spanish colonial? I don't know what that style is called specifically, but it's definitely Spanish. Colonial. Yeah. There you go. It's definitely Spanish influence. Like George Washington Smith did a lot of the homes there. I know he did, like Ellen buys up a lot of the George Washington Smith homes in that area. And so I wanted it to feel like that. And I think you guys really captured it and did a great job. And it was very important to me that the integrity of the interior matched the integrity of the exterior. And so I think I said to you guys, each room calls for like an antique or something. So you went over to Anthony's in Salt Lake and found me some great antiques. And I just think it's got a great mix of antique and I don't know if modern's the right word, but new and architectural and fashionable, Yeah.
And
editorial,
cool. For sure.
Interesting. Editorial. Yeah. It's very different from anything you see in Utah, I think, especially where I live in Utah.
For sure.
So, and you guys were amazing. I would show up to meetings at Alice Lane and you guys would have your beautiful, I don't know if it was stingray or crocodile tray out. And you would have all the furniture samples and a couple of the accessories. But then like you guys knew how to speak to my heart because there would be like great runway looks. And you'd be like, we're going to play off this for this room. And that really resonated with my brain because of course fashion always works. So I think that combination was really fun for me. Plus you had snacks.
Yeah.
You had snacks. That was
you
good.
guys, Angie eats. So there's proof.
I know.
Yeah. You look amazing, by the way.
You look at pictures of me when I was like 8, I'm skin and bones. Like it's just, I work for it, but it's just how I was born.
Wired.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I was writing down what are the words of Angie? So I'm like, I wrote down dragons, velvets, metal, and mohair.
Yeah.
Dragon, velvet, metal, mohair. I've never been so honored in my life. It's like an episode of Lord of the Rings or something, which is my favorite movie.
Me too.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Yeah. The fun
I
part
have alien art now. I don't know if it's Alice Lane approved, but I put it in. Yes.
I love it.
That's the fun thing though. You would always like bring something to the table and you're like, I have this thing and it's like this Sagittarius thing and it's gold and metal and like, where can we put this? And you just like, I don't know, your wit like comes out in your art selections and in your sculpture and things that you just have been collecting. You're like, so I have this mirror that's made of shell that we got at the Oli sale. Could we use this in the dining room? And I'm like, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And like, but it's just the mix. Like you could add anything into your house, into this kind of formula that we created that kind of anything goes because it's just all like a passion project for you. They're all things that you're drawn to. And so that's the fun part. It's fun to design for someone like that because you wouldn't say yes unless you loved it, And so when you gather 100%. All those, when you gather that much stuff that you love, like of course it feels like you, So
yeah, totally.
I think it's very fun.
It's collected.
Yes.
Yeah,
for
sure. For sure. I feel like we should talk one beat about, well, actually, let me ask you, Angie, do you have a favorite room in the house?
Good question.
I think from a design perspective, the dining room's pretty unbeatable.
Yeah.
It's really special. All that I remember telling you guys, because Hermes, the designer, has the classic ages and we're Harrington. I wanted to play off that. So you guys did a great job. You created this like Hermes china wall with a lot of plates, which Harrington has broken a couple of them and we got to replace them.
No.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's
christened
okay.
it. He's
I know,
just trying to
freaking
inspect
Heart.
its quality, just
He is,
understand
and
luxury
we
at an early
learned
age.
quickly that they are more fragile than we thought. And then I love the colors, just that rich burgundy and the texture on the walls in there, that Chase lounge. We have this, I think it was Jess that was like, let's put a Chase lounge in your dining room because you seem like the type that might be holding your glass of champagne and is going to faint because the corset's so tight. It was like you read my diary, Jess. Every dream come true. So we have a fainting chair in the dining room. We've got some beautiful, I love collecting like vintage dishes, and so we've got all that in the cabinet. And then I just love hosting people. So the dining room's pretty special. And those chairs, those dragon chairs. She gave us the hosts that on each end of the table, there's a host chair. And it's like this really great like emerald green dragon. It's not velvet. I don't know what that fabric is.
I think it is a cut velvet.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a cut velvet, but it is so rich and so cool. Yeah.
And then there's this like scene of an elephant, like in
the artwork,
middle of the jungle, that's like backing all that up too. I love the artwork.
Yeah, it kind of feels like the Temple of Doom room. Like where when they eat the monkey brains.
There might be snakes underfoot. It feels like that a little bit. You're like,
like someone might come in and sacrifice an animal, and we all are in our beautiful gowns eating the animal, and it's just I don't know. There goes my brain. So
you're pulling the best movie references, by the way.
Good, because I'm like such a pop culture reference. I always like my world is in like 80s songs and 80s movies, and
I love it.
She always has a quick whip.
That's awesome.
Yeah. What's cool about that room too is that like the previous owner, they kind of updated it, right? Before they sold it, they kind of painted everything like rooms. Something's gray, and like it was gray and white, and like the light fixtures were good, but we wanted like you kept the light fixtures in the dining room as well as we just refinished the table. So like
we kept a couple pieces,
but
because that table fit so well in that space, so we just took it, painted it white, and then the chandeliers, in order to make them our own, you guys had me. You had someone who put Hermes scarves wrapped around them, which was such a cool idea.
You betcha.
So we could stick with that H theme. It was cool.
So good. Yeah.
I saw these chairs.
Throw baby out with the bathwater, guys. Just reinvent her.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
I was going to ask about these chairs that I saw in some of the photos. They're black, white, contrast well, I think.
Ooh, that's over.
Those are amazing. That's the little tiny sort of keeping room by the fireplace in the family room with the sofas.
Yeah.
That's such a scene.
Room.
It's like black and white chairs with yellow welts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, those are so rad.
So good. And she has a grass cloth table in the middle that's been with us for quite a few houses now. And
been with us.
So it's just we always would say it's like such a fun spot to just tell secrets.
Were those reupholstered, or are they just?
Those are new.
Those were new.
That's so rad.
Yeah.
So the frame of that.
That's what's fun about Angie though, is like, she's like furniture, but make it fashion, you know?
Yeah.
So
make it unidentifiable if it's new or old.
Yeah.
Like it's better. It may be like it was a classic frame, but it was reupholstered in a really cool way.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, that's a great nook. And we still have some work to do on that fireplace. Remember how we're going to do the smoky mirrors and the marble, and
yes, ma'am.
That's where we tell secrets and hang out after skiing.
I love it.
It's awesome. Such a beauty and the beast moment.
It really is. So good.
Dreamy.
What's your favorite room, Sue?
Ooh. The dining room is, I think, just so darn sexy. It's so pretty. We kind of touched on the entry. I love that entry moment. I love the graduation, like coming into the house, because again, you think of a 10,000 square foot house, you'd imagine that you would have really tall, voluminous ceilings, but here you're like 8 feet. So you like you feel the chandelier right there, like it's that Lawrence Bullard one, and then just like the bench and the art, and just even the green pottery that we did that has like the dragons in it. I'm obsessed about. I just dream about it every night. And then you graduate. I still remember when we were kind of sketching that out for you during the presentation, that the Thomas O'Brien, the brass study table with the blush pink mirror and Lady Liberty over the black sculptural chair. It's just, there's so much tension between the traditional and the more modern pieces. It's just like, it's electric, and I'm like, what a cool first image and first glance at you via space. So
for sure.
So I love the entry.
I do too. It's so
good.
Such a scene.
And the vintage rugs mixed in with the new rugs. And it's very cool.
I mean, the Rust mohair sectional that's like exploded and broken into two. It's
sectionals.
Sectionals too. That room is pretty spectacular as well. That Rust mohair couch is something else for sure.
Which was a splurge because I remember we showed you a couple different options, but Angie's just so fun. She went for the cooler one. She went for the Rust mohair.
And bomb-proof. I bet they still look amazing today.
They do. I was nervous because, as we all know, mohair is like crazy expensive. And I was like, oh, I have boys and they're not always clean and fresh. And so, but yeah, it's held up really well. And I get so many compliments on it. That rust color is so incredible. And we've loved it. It's been great.
It's so fun.
It also sits on a vintage rug. And,
the vintage blue and
keep going. I was going to say, like another favorite thing about that room are the armor vests. They were kind of backing up the TV. That whole moment is so just
so good for your chills. 5 kids. Remember
for
the
our
5
5 sons, 1 daughter.
Going to battle.
They're all going to battle in this crazy world we live in, and so they needed their vests that will give them 0 protection because they are made of just something
like bone or
wood chips.
Something.
They're made of like seashells or so. I don't know what it is. But yeah, it'll give them 0 protection. It's funny, when we were filming the show, one of the producers said something.
Oh, wait. What show is that, Angie? What show is that?
Real Housewives Salt Lake. We were filming and we were planning a party I was going to host there. And one of the producers, I heard him say, the other producer, I guess we'll put it over by those weird things on the wall. I'm like, excuse me. Those are warrior vests and they are cool. And he's like, sorry, he panicked. Anyway, it was funny. But I find weird a compliment. Like people, I'm okay with being weird. It's who I am. So
it starts a conversation. Like no one else is going to have that floating behind their TV.
Exactly.
Here's a question maybe for all of you guys, and maybe it's different. When you do a remodel, even a new build, there's always things that you have like a vision for, but they don't quite turn out. And sometimes they turn out better. Was there a moment in this remodel that was like that?
I feel like the bedroom for me.
Master bedroom.
Yeah.
Putting the bed.
I really love how that turned out. We had the bed on a different wall originally. And then we decided to be more Vincent Wolf about it and just float it in the middle of the room facing the fireplace. And it's just like such a mood. You've never seen anything like it. That deep purple color wasn't there either, was it?
No, we painted it.
No.
Gold leaf the ceiling.
Yeah. Ugh. Gold leaf the ceiling.
The bedroom really surprised me because I think your natural instinct is to face it obviously out the window, and we turned it and elongated the room, but it just made it really cool. And it almost made it 2 separate rooms instead of one big room that kind of just felt long. And that deep purple that feels ambiguous, that almost feels like purple or brown, or what is it,
burnt or something.
Yeah, it was, originally we were going to go lighter purple, but this one felt more like, what is it? Is it burgundy? Is it brown? Is it purple? And then you guys had the ceilings gold leafed in wallpaper and that gorgeous chandelier. And it just felt glam and fun and sexy. And facing the fireplace makes it extra cozy too, I think. So
yeah,
I have many a days I sit right by that fireplace and just like read with my ears, because I don't read with my eyes. And I just sit there and it's wonderful.
Your draperies
I love it.
Are so cool.
And Hart is always out on that little balcony, rain, snow, sunshine, whatever. So it's fun.
Did you guys float nightstands too, or that's
she
so
has
cool.
this amazing dresser that she got. It's hickory chair.
Apartment.
Yeah. And so
I love it.
We wanted to feature that. And in the end, we put it behind the bed since the bed's floating in the room.
Wow.
So you come in the room, you see the dresser and the back of the bed, but it kind of makes the back of the bed less of a wall, because you have this incredible hickory chair dresser with this amazing hardware on it. And she just keeps all of her perfumes, and it's almost like, do you treat the room like kind of like a dressing room now behind the bed?
Yeah.
Because
it's kind of the space behind the bed feels more like where I actually, honestly, that sofa, I just put all my like FedEx boxes and all my clothes, just pile on top of it. I wish I could say I kept it more organized. But yeah, I treat it like I have my accessories in that hickory chair. So I'll pull out, I'll grab my handbags or my glasses, spray myself with perfume, and I'm off. It is kind of like a second dressing room for sure.
Nice. Favorite perfume, Angie?
Tom Ford. I have a lot of Tom Fords. I don't discriminate when it comes to perfume, but I do like Soleil Neige by Tom Ford. That's a great summer scent. And it just reminds me of like the Mediterranean and all. I could go into deep detail of all the beautiful things that pop up when I spray that. And then when I'm feeling sexy or date night, Typical Me by Killian. And that one's a lot harder to find. It might be discontinued, but that's a brand that like Neiman Marcus typically carries. And I'm pretty open to perfumes. I'm not super picky on scents. So
yeah, favorite.
But I do like a little deeper, spicier, more interesting scents. Yeah.
Who's most inspiring to you for fashion? And like also like what do you like what do you wear well? You know what I mean? Like all of our bodies like certain things and
yeah. Retro glam. So 70s. I'm very inspired by 70s fashion icons. I think Lauren Santo Domingo, who is the founder of Moda Operandi, which is a luxury retailer, she has this effortless, cool style. It's like she doesn't even, it looks like she's accidentally hot. Like it's like she doesn't brush her hair and she has like very little makeup on, but she's elegant and always looks so polished. But you know, she worked on it. It just doesn't look like she did.
Yeah.
So she's great. I obviously Kate Moss is like very like boho, cool, chic. I love Barry Gibb, you guys. I love Barry Gibb from 1979. Like how hot is Barry Gibb?
Yeah.
And I just think he was such he gives me like, it's like Harry Styles is the modern day Barry Gibb. So I think people like that always just have something to offer in fashion and are so cool. And yeah. And what looks good on me? Oh man, I don't know. Like I'm finding as I get older, I am investing less in trend and more in classics and less patterns. I'm doing more solid colors, more crisp white designer dresses rather than 5 trending dresses, you know, and I'm trying to really tighten up and polish my wardrobe that way. But I still, of course, am a sucker for the trends and all those things. So I don't know what, my legs are a good asset, I think. And then I'm very boy shaped, like straight up and down. And so I don't have like that hourglass figure. So I kind of dress according to that and whatever works. And yeah,
that's so great. I love it. So you're an influencer, you're on a TV show, you have 3 boys. How do you make it all work with your busy lifestyle?
It's good to know because I mean, that's a great question because I still find time to like talk to my best friends on the phone. And I don't know. There's certain friends I'll talk to for like an hour a day. And
I love that.
Awesome.
It's a good question. I probably am not as organized as I should be, if you want an honest answer.
Yeah,
like, I feel
sure.
like I'm never doing all those jobs at my full capacity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I can be a great, great mother one day, but it's never on the same day that I'm excellent in business. You know, it's like something's always going to lack one day.
Yeah.
So the days I'm filming, my kids need me, and it's hard, you know, it's hard because Hart will be crying because I've got to go out the door and he wants me home. So that's a real challenge, finding that balance. And obviously the kids always come first, no matter what. Period. End of story. And
we all feel that as moms, you know?
Yeah.
So, and it's hard to relate to the woman who has it all figured out. You know, yeah.
Nobody does. And that's the thing. Someone's always suffering in my life. It's either work or my kids, so you just have to do your best to balance it. And yeah. Luckily I work part-time. I've been fortunate that way.
Mm-hmm. That is really fortunate.
So
yeah, that's great. Do you guys have any like fave?
I mean, when we're filming, it's more than part-time.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What months do you guys film? Housewives.
I've only been involved the last 2 seasons, but it's typically February through May is about the time.
That's a lot.
Season 2, I left early. It is, but season 2, I left early. So for me, it was only a month of filming. So that was like February to March. And then last season, it was like February to May. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot.
What's
it's
a film? What's a day?
The wardrobe is so expensive.
Yeah, I'll bet. When you say filming is a lot, what does that day look like? Just so all of us know, if we watch Housewives, how much those girls are.
I'm a little different. So I'm probably filming when I was a part-time cast member, I was probably filming 3 to 4 times a week and one scene each day. Occasionally you'll have 2 scenes a day. Whereas the full-time girls are probably filming 5 days a week, 2-3 scenes. So it is nonstop, but that includes waking up, hair and makeup, new look, head to toe. I mean, honestly, like the amount you invest in just hair and makeup.
Yeah. Do you
every
do your
day
own, or you have glam do it?
Sometimes I do my own. Honestly, I have great hair and makeup artists, but sometimes I feel like in scene, I look the best when I did my own makeup. Because I was a performer I was a performer for 15 years. And so I got really good at stage makeup and then I acted after that. So I've been doing my makeup for 25 something years on performance level. So I'm pretty good at it. And I love that creative process of putting together a look and then doing the hair and the makeup. And it's always inspired by something retro and cool. And yeah.
That's so fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun process.
I love
Get to play dress up.
Yeah, that is so fun. I didn't even think about that. You'd have to do stage makeup for TV, even though you're out and about or eating lunch or whatever. But yeah, you've got to look.
Because those lights are on and the cameras.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, wow. Do you have a favorite makeup brand?
Yeah, I do. I really like Charlotte Tilbury, but I would say overall products, I think Anastasia Beverly Hills has, her hero product is the eyebrows, obviously. But then I'm finding she's got incredible foundation, incredible concealer, incredible powder. Like
good to know.
Consistently, I think she has the most great pieces.
Amazing.
You know?
Yeah, I've only ever done eyebrows. I didn't know that all of the, of course.
I didn't either.
It's cool though that they played it so slow because they master it. And then when they introduce something else, we should figure that it's also going to be a master. So that's really cool.
For sure.
Good. I'll have to check that out.
But Charlotte Tilbury, they're a favorite for you for lipstick.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I use all their lipsticks. Yeah.
Susan's a bold lip kind of girl. Yeah. She puts a lot of time and energy.
I'm a bold lip girl too, Sue.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
I like a naked eye and a bold lip.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. If you were going to get ready in 15 minutes, what would you do first? Like, what do you have to do and what can you let go of?
Concealer. I'm a concealer whore. Concealer, eyebrows, lips. That's like a quick light contour. Yeah.
I love it. That's great.
Foundation would be my last.
And hair, you won't spend the time on hair. You'll just
Well, I love a sleek bun or ponytail.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel my very prettiest when my hair is pulled back, parted down the middle, and I have no eye makeup on and like a medium colored lip. Like that's when I feel my best, truly.
I love that.
So,
know that about yourself. Audience, figure that out for yourself. When do you feel the prettiest?
Find your best feature and highlight that. I feel like on my face, my lips are my best feature, so I try to focus on that. If you have the gorgeous eyes, focus on that,
Yeah,
so
definitely. Cool. I know you can't say a lot about Housewives, but
I'll say what I can.
What can you say? Is there any...
Still, sister.
Yeah.
I mean, ask me. Let me think. Do you mean about the process overall or... I obviously can't give away anything
to do.
Yeah.
Yes and no. I have to be careful what I say here because...
How about this best and worst part? Like your peak and your pit.
Best part is... the creative process for me, getting ready. My friend always says, you never want your good outfits to go wasted. And you feel like on Housewives, your fashion is never wasted. And that's fun because fashion is kind of to be seen and to be heard. And I really feel like there's not much of a better platform to have that moment. So I love that part of it. The hard part is the drama. I'm not a drama girl. I personally believe they cast me because I'm fun and funny. But I don't like fighting. I don't like confrontation. I think at times people are frustrated with me because I don't confront. It's just not my personality.
Yeah.
And I've always said, look, if that doesn't make me a good housewife, it's not the gig for me. I'm not willing to compromise my integrity sometimes. So anyway, hopefully I didn't say too much there, but
I don't think so.
I think I'm lucky because I feel less pressure because as much as I enjoy it, I enjoy my life with or without it. So I don't feel the need to do something that's out of character for me.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Definitely.
Where I think some people do feel that pressure. And so I'm lucky that way, you know?
What's your favorite Housewives franchise?
But it's fun and what was that?
What's your favorite Housewives franchise?
Beverly Hills. I'm a visual, so it's the glamour and the fashion. And I used to love New York, but I'd say Beverly Hills. It's just so fun to watch visually, and I think it's a trip because I still, and I've only been on it a couple of years, and I'm still a part-time cast member. But you don't realize the power of the show, like. When I'm in Hawaii right now, and when I landed, I quickly walked through the lobby, got to my bedroom, and I look at my phone. I had like 3 DMs from people, and they're like, "I saw you in the lobby. I didn't dare to say hi." I'm like, "Really? In Hawaii?" Like, you don't realize how many people now know who you are, and I can't decide if that's like kind of intimidating to me or if that's like fun or it's just something to get used to. It's a new normal, and. Yeah. I'd almost prefer it if someone said hi to me rather than feeling like someone is just watching.
Yeah,
you know what I
mean?
Mm-hmm. That's why I always say hi, come say hi. Because it does, I don't know, what if it's a bad moment and you're yelling at your kids or something? I don't know. So I guess the power of the show, you don't realize what a platform it is. And I'm still getting used to that, I think.
Yeah.
So.
You guys, she just gave you permission to go say hi to her. So don't miss the opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, imagine being J-Lo. I can't imagine.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Speaking of J-Lo, do you remember when Angie
that?
was like, "Do you have some pillows that are just a little bit more J-Lo?"
Yeah,
was it for the bedroom?
Well, family room and bedroom.
Yeah,
bedroom for sure. Like go more J-Lo.
Yeah, just a little more J-Lo, just a little more glam. Yeah, for sure.
Sparkle, a little fur.
I love that you love her and reference her. Yeah. That's really cute.
Yeah.
You want to know one other cool thing about Angie that I want everyone to know is that every time I see her, and we're not fashion influencers over here, like we do interiors, head down, you always compliment on whatever you find something to compliment about people. And I noticed that with anybody you're around, you do that. And I'm like, everyone should know that about Ange. I think that's very admirable and very cool for her to go outside yourself to find something nice about other people. So when you're watching Real Housewives, just remember that, everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sue. You get sometimes you get misrepresented, and I'm like, I promise I'm a nice person.
Nicest, funniest.
So nice. And you love
Sue.
Heather Gay, right, on the podcast?
Oh, she's the one I'm closest to. Oh, you love her on the podcast? She said.
You guys are just so cute together. I think your banter and you guys are just on Below Deck together. And anyway, it seems like that's the highlight also of maybe Housewives for you is like your interactions. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
I was going to say that's true. Heather and I were like we were like magnets. We met about, I want to say maybe 2.5 years ago. And we didn't get super friendly till about a year later, but it was just like kinetic, you know what I mean? And I think it's just because we have there's something to be said about growing up in the Mormon culture and in the Utah culture where you just kind of relate family wise. And then we have very similar senses of humor. And so sometimes I feel bad for the people around us because we just gravitate towards each other and constantly try to one up each other on the jokes. We're just 2 girls dying to be seen and heard, apparently. Just 2 showgirls. We call each other. We have like roadshow in our blood, Mormon roadshow in our blood. So
if you know, you know.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. Exactly. Yeah. But ching. So yeah, I adore her. And the thing I love about our relationship is I can be like, Heather, you're being a pain in the ass. And she'll be like, let's talk in a few days. And I let her go dark and then we talk and it's normal again. Like it's just, we can call each other. She'll call me out on my stuff. What was that?
I said, that's really healthy. I feel like. you know?
Totally. I mean, yeah, this show is really stressful. So it's hard to keep your relationships good on it. And I think because we have that communication, that's why it stays healthy, you know?
Yeah,
so
definitely. Okay. Final question that we ask everybody that comes on the podcast. How do you define luxury?
Oh, by price tag. Just kidding. Not at all.
Touche.
For me, luxury is visual. Luxury is very visual for me. And I have no problem buying something if it's affordable. It just has to do with, does it look, feel? It's a sensory thing, I think. Does it look, does it feel, does it taste, whether it's a restaurant so to me, I think it's more sensory, a cut above the rest. Does the fabric feel like a cut above the rest? Does the visual feel like a cut above the rest? Is the taste exquisite, you know? So I would describe luxury by the senses, I guess. That's just what came to my mind. So
that's a great answer. I feel that too in design. Yeah. And we feel like the most genuine compliment we can give each other is like, you look expensive today. Really expensive,
oh yes, of course. You've said that to me before.
Yeah,
that's
well,
so
you always
funny.
look expensive. You look amazing.
Well, you're nice, but like I still will walk into TJ Maxx. It's like the starving student in me and be like, let's find something good. You know, I like it's about that hunt. And you can find luxury in places like that. Totally. I really believe you can. I think some of my best fashion moments back in the day came from me having to hunt through racks of clothes. To find something cool, you know?
Definitely.
So the creativity was like really forced at that point.
It's just so hard. Exactly. It was forced. You walk into a thrift shop, same thing, you know? So I have some really great vintage jewelry that was very affordable, but it just looks spectacular, you know?
Do you have a favorite place to shop for vintage?
I love Decades in Salt Lake. I think it's fantastic. And then there's a place on Melrose in LA that has really great vintage.
Amazing. What's the name?
Maybe Wasteland. I can't remember right now. I just know where it is.
Yeah.
I haven't been in like 5 years though, but they have really cool pieces. Cool. So
awesome. Yeah. It feels like such a treasure hunt when you find something.
So fun, isn't it?
Yeah. We've done a few like fun, like little costume things, and oh my gosh, I have this ivory coat that has like rabbit fur around the neck and the wrists. I got it at Decades, and I was like, the lining on it, the label on it is so big, and the way it's stitched on. And I was like, I feel like I stole it for $200. I have like,
I know,
rabbit fur. The knit on it is like Chanel. It's so beautiful. So it's a really fun thing to find something that nobody else can have and that once existed. And I just feel like it comes with a story and a fun memory. No, they really don't. The quality of it, the linings, all of it is just so.
Yeah. Decades has treasures.
Yeah. You got a good coat too.
Yeah, so many good. Yeah. So
I remember those pieces you guys got at Decades.
Yeah.
We had a photo shoot together, right? Remember?
We did. Yes. Decades is downtown Salt Lake for those who are wondering. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a riot. Go there.
It is a riot. And I feel like if you maybe include the owner who's usually behind the front desk in what you're looking for, he'll warm up to you. But otherwise, everybody's always
hard
like,
to win over.
Watch out, because he's so rude.
He's hard to win over.
But I usually just am like, I'm looking for this. This is the thing we have. And then he'll kind of show me a few things. And then I'm like on his good side. That's not important to everybody. But for me, I just don't like to not be liked. So I'm like, how do I soften this guy up a beat? He liked that. Yeah.
He liked what?
I talked to him about his specs, his glasses.
Yeah.
And then like you ask him what other specs he has, and he got really excited to show me the behind the scenes, the stuff that's under the counter that he doesn't have out that he thinks is really great. Like, show me that.
Oh, he did. Lucky Sue.
I know, right?
You just got to warm him up a little bit and then you're in.
I got these like Tom Ford Iris Outful, like very like big glasses.
So cool. I mean, every time I walk in there, I feel like you get the feeling of what the hell are you doing in here? And you're just like, I mean, at last I checked, it's a store. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, he does not make eye contact.
He gives
when
off
he does,
that vibe.
he like gives you a little roll and
Yeah, it's so funny.
That's so great. Angie is in Hawaii. She took some time out of her day to get on here. Thank you for coming on, Dear Alice, with us, Angie.
Aloha, my friend.
Yes. Go out and enjoy the beauty that is Hawaii. Thank you for.
I will. I have a little joke for you guys.
Okay.
Oh, I love Angie jokes. Go.
Is loud laughter allowed in Hawaii? No, it's just aloha.
Oh,
there you go.
I love it.
And to that,
you guys are the
Mic
best.
drop.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So good to have you. It's good to see you again. We just adore you.
I know. Happy birthday.
You too. Okay. Bye, guys.
Yes, see ya. Hey, thanks for listening. If you like our show, please leave a 5-star rating.